No, I will.
Washington County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, November the 3rd, shall come to order. Mr. Hagan, if you would, lead us in invocation, and Mr. Hagan, if you would, lead us in the pledge.
Our God, you've been good to us, and we're mindful of that. We thank you that we live in a land like America where we have the opportunity to have forums where we can discuss and openly debate. We ask tonight that everything that we manage, everything that we handle, everything that we do tonight would be to keep it in your will in our life and for the best interest of the people of Washington County. We ask that you would get yourself the glory out of our lives. We ask all these things in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I feel like I'm gonna have to get under the table tonight.
Yeah. Kind of balancing it out.
Roll call, please.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
Here,
District 2, Richard Gundy.
Here.
District 3, Michelle Cook.
Here.
District 4, Carl Owens. District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Here.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom excused. Member at Large Chairman John Gay.
Here.
Don McDonald, County Planner. Jennifer Eng, Planning Assistant, present. Matthew Fuqua, County Attorney.
Here.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
yes.
District 2, Richard Gundy.
Yes.
District 3, Michelle Cook.
Yes.
District 4, Carl Owens.
Yes.
District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom excused. Member at Large Chairman John Gay.
Yes. All right. September 8th, 2025 minutes. Everyone had a chance to look at those? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Fuqua, can we do both of them at the same time?
Yes.
October 6th meeting.
So moved again.
Second.
Okay. Motion's made and seconded to approve both the September 8th and October the 6th meetings. Any discussion? Roll call.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
Yes.
District 2, Richard Gundy.
Yes.
District 3, Michelle Cook.
Yes.
District 4, Carl Owens.
Yes.
District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom excused. Member at Large Chairman John Gay.
Yes. Under old business. Madam Planner.
I have a note here. Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
And guests and staff. I have a note here. I can't read my own writing. It looks like I was going to discuss the new legislation regarding development reviews and subdivision reviews. And
The
may-
5 days.
yeah, and there was also some other legislation that preempts us, and the state will be, reviewing things. But after looking at over the statutes and the changes to that were made by the legislature in this legislative session this year, I've made the changes to the Land Development Code drafts, and you have those in front of you. But you'll see that it's stepped up our schedule, and so now we have 5 days to react to any subdivisions or development reviews, even our day-to-day applications. So not so significant, but significant enough for us that's changing how we're doing our operations. But I've got copies that I need to give you of the legislation. It's not too onerous. So I can add those, and you'll have those. But they've been included, just so you know, the recent legislative changes have been included in that Land Development Code draft, and we'll be reviewing, and you'll be making a recommendation on that next month for the December meeting. That's all we're going to consider in December.
Let me ask you a question. You and I discussed this in the pre-meeting. You got 5 days from the date the applicant drops it off to do what? exactly?
Basically sufficiency review to make sure that the application is complete. And if it isn't, then you're limited in the time. You've got to turn it around very quickly, so within days. And as far as the total time frame of developments, there's a lot of 30 and 60 days now in the language. So if the applications are sufficient and they're complete, they can move along, and it's pretty quickly completed. And that's what we've been doing pretty much so far. So I think we're going to be okay because our process is always expedited. But if it's incomplete, the Florida legislature has required local governments to only allow for 2 to 3 requests for information. And also, if we don't act upon these applications quickly enough, the applicants will be able to be refunded for their application fees.
The question I have for you is that it seems like to me that when you go to a development review, sometimes it takes a rather long time for them to respond. For instance, we just got this letter on our table. Does Mr. Fuqua need to address that in any way to the development review people so that they understand we are limited on the time and they need to respond appropriately? Or do you think it's under control?
I don't think I need to get involved. I mean, if they either do or then it's on them. If we request information, they don't provide it.
Kind of think it falls back on us. It kind of flows uphill instead of downhill, but okay. You don't think you need any help?
No, I mean, if it gets to that third submittal, I think that's where we can only ask for certain information. So
All right.
it's and you'll see as you read through it, but that third round might be when we may need to consult with Mr. Fuqua.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Mr. Here. Can I address?
certainly.
Ms. McDonald, who's on that review committee?
It's county staff members and some external parties or organizations. We've got FDOT has wanted to be involved. The state, we've copied the Department of Environmental Protection since they handle the septic permits. We may bring in Water Management District if needed, but that's very rare. But it's basically staff and the county engineer.
Those outside entities, we can't do anything except to encourage them, but if the rest of them are staff, it looks like the administrator or the board could speed it up if it needs to be speed up. I agree with Mr. Fuqua reluctantly as I might. But I think that's an internal thing that needs to be addressed by the board.
You're talking about the county commission board?
I am.
That was why I brought it up.
If they're employees, and that's an assignment that they have, they need to get it back.
All right. You can just hang on because we're going into new business. Get your folder. All right, we're gonna move into new business, public hearings. The first one is A, which is a minor development review application with a variance request the city of Vernon.
Okay, this is our first case, the City of Vernon Septic Station, and it's a minor development review application with variance requests. And the city has received a grant and to add a septic station to their existing development. And so there's an existing wastewater treatment plant that's been in business, been working in operation on this site for years. And so this technically is a redevelopment of the site. So this is located in the city of Vernon, and we act as their planners also. And the city, this is a 6-acre total site. And the request is to adopt a minor development review application. It says even local governments have to receive development approval for large projects. And the land use category is public, semi-public, which is proper, and the use is allowable there. And this is just an aerial photo. In the very southeastern corner is where the station will be located, adjacent to Dawkins Street, and access to it will be via Dawkins Street. And this is a site plan. As you can see, it's an improvement over the existing site. There's a stormwater pond there. There are site improvements, and there's the driveway that allows access into the septic station. So basically, this is just a very first-level treatment at the site. And so they're screening, but the trucks, the pump-out trucks will use the loading zone, and they will pump out here, but the pipe is connected to the wastewater treatment plant, and so for further treatment. So there's a pipe to complete, so this is just part of, this is gonna be like an extension of the existing plan, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we met our public noticing requirements. We held a neighborhood information meeting, and 4 neighbors attended. And Mr. Long, the authorized representative to the project, the engineer is here this evening. And he was there to answer any technical questions. And attendees were not opposed to the project, but they just had concerns mainly with truck traffic or any noise or odors that may occur on the site. And county planning staff recommends approval. And tonight you'd be making a recommendation to the town council. And this matter will be heard at the town council meeting of November 17th, where there'll be a final decision made. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, but Mr. Long is also here.
Mr. Owens?
No questions at this time?
Mr. Gunn?
No, sir.
Ms. Cook?
No, sir.
Mr. Haggett?
No, sir.
Mr. Paget?
No.
Who is the representative from Vernon?
Mr. Long.
Okay, he didn't sign in, so. Would you like to speak, sir? If you would state your name for me.
Dale Long, Municipal Engineering Services. Sorry, I didn't sign in. I don't really have a specific presentation. I'm really happy to answer any questions that you might have. I think.
Mr. Paget, do you have any questions for Mr. Hagan?
No, sir.
Ms. Cook? Mr. Cundy?
I'm good.
That's debatable. Mr. Owens?
No, sir.
All right.
Thank y'all very much.
Is there anyone in the audience that has any comments or questions or concerns? Let's go with up here first. I will get to y'all. Go ahead, sir. Come up to the come to the podium and state your name, please.
My name is Alan Steverson. I live at live on Dawkins Street, and I was wondering, are they going to stop the trucks from dumping in the road? Is that what this is all about? Them putting this in, is it going to stop them from dumping in the road?
The gentleman that represents Vernon is saying yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Was there anybody else on this side? All right, we're gonna move to this young lady right back here.
My name is Tiffany Sanders. I too am a resident on Dawkins Street. I actually live 2 buildings down from the development. While I do not oppose it in its entirety, we did come to the informational meeting and suggested that we have major concerns for the children, the elderly, and the handicapped that are constantly up and down Dawkins Street. They go to the Dollar General store. Some of them ride the little mobility scooters. It's their only form of transportation. We've now added a Circle K, which is wonderful, but I'm sure that's only gonna increase the traffic with the children. So that's our biggest concern. Is there money in this to put a sidewalk in? Is there anything gonna be done? We were told in the beginning it would be a couple of trucks. When they did this before, it was only Odom Septic. We have been told at the informational meeting that this will be, open up for companies to dump from Bay County, Holmes County, all around. They said this place will have the potential for 50 to 60,000 gallons of sewage a day. So we did the math and the number of trucks that are gonna be coming down through there, and I'm looking at a truck on my street every 45 minutes throughout the 8-hour day. Now, they've said for now, in the beginning, this will only be operated when there is a city worker present on staff during normal business hours. But they have also said that in the future, it is a possibility that this could be automated with a gate and we could have these trucks there 24 hours a day. So I just want our concerns put on the record. I don't want to have to sell my house. I love my little place. I'm very concerned about odor. My family has worked in solid waste for many, many years, transfer stations, landfills. They have systems in place. They pump things into the air to help cut down on the odor. I'd like something like that to be addressed. So far, everybody just keeps saying, oh, it'll be okay. It's only going to be this. It'll be okay. It's only going to be that. But nobody is actually addressing any of our concerns. And we really don't know who to go to other than you guys. So we just need it on the record that all of us aren't 100% in favor of this. There are a couple of things that they could put in place that would make us 100% comfortable with it. But until that happens, yes, some of us do stand in opposition.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Long, you want to respond to that?
Sure. So I jotted down a couple things, traffic versus pedestrian issues and sidewalks. There's no money in the budget for sidewalks. I can understand the concern there. But I think that ties back to the other comment about the number of trucks. I think we did talk at the pre-meeting about 50 to 60,000 gallons potentially. I think that's a variation based on the number of trucks. The application that we submitted was for, I think, upward eight trucks a day, if I remember what was submitted. So that would be a little less than every 45 minutes. So depending on truck size, let's say if they were 10,000 gallon trucks, 8 of them, that'd be 80,000 gallons. So I can tell you that since it's set up to be run manually, as Ms. Sanders noted, that means that there will have to be an employee there every time somebody dumps. There is no present plans to do an automated system, but as discussed at the pre-meeting, it is certainly an option, and I can't predict the future. But if you think about the city staff at Vernon, they're very limited, so their ability to get over there every 45 minutes, for example, to dump a truck is going to be somewhat limited. The odor issue, the piping system in the sewer isn't completely enclosed, so there shouldn't be any odor from the sewer side. The only side that might have odor and can be controlled and would need to be controlled is so let me back up. As Ms. Dawn mentioned, this is a pre-treatment system. So what happens is, if you think of septic tank truck goes, pumps out a septic tank, dumps at the site, it pumps through the system, it screens out all the big stuff out of it. Rocks, bricks, trash, any kind of solids that might have got flushed and stored in the septic tank. And then the sewer's filtered out through it, goes back into the sewer system, goes through the plant, does the rest of its treatment. But the screenings, what comes out of there, would be in dumpsters. Now, there is a wash system on this, so when the trash is dumped and it goes through the screen, it's washed with clean water to help remove the offendable items off of it. So it is as clean as trash can be, so to speak. Again, as I mentioned before, I can't promise there's no odor whatsoever. Certainly the city has no intention of having any odors more than what's already at the wastewater treatment plant. So I don't want to get long-winded here. So I hope I addressed those concerns, but any further questions?
Okay.
Is this gonna be a revenue generator for the city?
Yes, sir, it is.
That's good. Question?
Not at this time.
Mr. Cummings? Mr. Owens?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. There was somebody else in the back, but, yes, sir.
My name is Norman Sanders. I also live on Dawkins Street. That was my wife that was up here earlier. Chief forgot to mention a couple of things. She also, saw about the burning budget. When you're running trucks up and down them roads are gonna go bad. Vernon's got bad enough roads in there as we are, and I'm lucky enough to live on one of the paved roads already. And like she said, we have a lot of older folks that are up and down them streets. And I do live 2 houses down from this place. I moved here about 4 years ago and moved to Vernon because it's a small hometown. Really don't want to retire in a place that has trucks running up and down the roads while I'm trying to enjoy my backyard. I don't want to sit there and smell the smell. I have hauled the solid waste. I have been in the trash business for 38 years. I don't care what you do to it, it's still going to smell. I just invested about $35,000 in my house, and now I may have to put it up for sale. And it's going to decrease the value of my house if I get a septic smell around my facility when I'm hooked to city sewer. So, it's just something to think about before we just go ahead and push forward on something that could really damage your property. And like he said, it is gonna be a money-making scheme to, put in there, and before long, it will be around the clock. And we'll have everybody, instead of going to Mariana or, to a different facility outside of Vernon, it's all gonna come to us. It's just concerns that I'm worried about for my family, for the elderly around me, and, for the roads and the budgets and everything else. I know, like you said, there's gonna be money coming back into you, but, who you wanna run out of town, to bring this budget in?
Did I understand you to say that you moved here 4 years ago?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The sewer plant was there when you moved there?
Yes, sir.
So you knew it was there?
And there's not a bit of smell. It's always kept clean. It's always trimmed out. It's always been a nice place. I mean, they take very good care of it. But, like I said, I've sat out on my back porch for many, many nights and listened to the football game and the preacher on Sunday morning on the Sunday service on the corner of the sidewalk, and I don't have to smell nothing.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir?
May I speak from back here, please?
Ms. McDonald, would you mind taking him the microphone, please? Or a microphone? Yes, sir, you can.
On a budget special revenue, could they just tell you the revenue off of this?
I have no idea. They haven't contacted me.
My name's Paul O'Court. I'm here 3 years. I love this little town of Vernon. I love Washington County. I'm very happy living here. Very peaceful. As it was already said, there's a lot of children of all ages in that neighborhood, on top of the seniors. I'm talking high school, junior high, even preschoolers. They're out playing on the streets. There are no sidewalks. And the streets are in rough shape. And I've been a trucker all my life, and I know what trucks do to a road. Matter of fact, that area right now is closed to through truck traffic. To open it up to truck traffic like that, I think is a bad mistake for the people who live in Vernon. And right across from where I live, there's a baseball field, a track, basketball courts. There's an old tennis court that nobody uses, but my understanding is that they got a grant and they're gonna fix that tennis court and put 2 additional tennis courts in. And a lot of people do come to that track and run around that track. And there's a lot of school bus traffic in that area also, as their parking is down in that area. And earlier you were talking about where they were gonna unload, and I couldn't hear what the answer was. That unloading in the street the way they do it now, or they're gonna be off the street to unload?
Mr. Long, can you answer that?
Off the street, okay. And I did some sewer work in my younger days in a utility contractor, and even though it's all piped in, My son lived near the Eastern Pennsylvania sewage treatment plant. He was, and that odor there. Now, I'm not saying this will ever get that bad. I don't know, but a mile away, you could smell that plant. And I'm very concerned about the smell and the roads, the non-sidewalks, the safety. And I am very much against the truck traffic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Got a couple questions. So this basically is a revenue stream for the city of Vernon. It's not a critical structure, according to this.
Yes.
Okay,
According to Mr. Long.
okay.
This is revenues.
It's a revenue stream, not necessarily a critical structure.
Well, a little bit of yes and on both. So it definitely is a revenue stream, and that's the, but if they are, as some of the residents have mentioned, if they continue to take septage directly into manholes, what's getting pumped in there is not screened out, so it does cause problems in the wastewater treatment plant. And I think that's part of the reason they've stopped taking it, generally speaking, at least from my
Is that-
knowledge. I'm not.
Isn't it true that the wastewater treatment plant couldn't handle the direct flow? That's why this filtration system's being put in, so that it'll be cleaner going into the treatment plant?
Well, it's
To
not so
improve
much the flow, it is the solids and stuff that's in it. I mean, you're still, all the organics and biological material that's in it is still gonna be in it as it goes through. That's not getting screened out. It's really just the large pieces of debris and solids.
So right now, they're dumping it just in the manholes?
Well, again, I've been told that they're not doing that presently, but they have in the past. I don't live on Dawkins Street, so I don't know that. I'm sure the residents would know a lot more than I would.
It was something that was done in the past and they had to stop it.
And I think part of the reason they stopped it was their bar screen that's at the plant, which screens out the stuff, is presently down, so that adds more issues with it.
What I'm seeing on our paperwork, it's considered an unmanned facility.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you're saying that there'll be a full-time attendee?
Well, what happens is truck will pull up or call ahead of time, I would assume. Says, hey, I have a load to deliver. Can you meet me there in 30 minutes or something like that? There won't be a person there permanently.
Okay.
I'm reading this. I don't know if it's correct or not, but it says that Monday through Friday, 4 PM to 6 PM.
I don't think they're open till 6. Oh, sorry. Okay.
What was it, Ms.?
That's the PM peak hour trips, that's how
Sorry.
So that's the engineering standard for trips, for your trip generation analysis.
Oh,
It's
that's
always PM peak hour trips between the hours of 4 and 6.
So it's not necessarily when they're gonna be there.
No, no, sir.
The reason I ask is our lovely government has got this on daylight savings time. It's dark at 6 o'clock.
Right.
That poses a little more risk to the elderly and younger children.
Right.
What are the actual hours of operation for the plant anticipated?
I believe that the city of Vernon's hours, staff hours, are 7 to 4, but I'm not 100%. It could
That
be 8
works
to
better.
5, but somewhere in that range.
That sounds right.
You know, I can live with 7 to 4.
Right.
Putting big sewer trucks in there after dark with small children and
Yeah.
the elderly doesn't seem reasonable.
Understood.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the where this is being placed, that's a flood area. It's flooded
ma'am.
numerous times.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that going to affect, how is this going to take all of that flooding?
So the flood zone elevation there is an elevation of 40. The top of the structure, which is where the feet of that structure are, it's on feet and up is at elevation 40.5. So we've elevated the entire structure above the flood elevation, and then the electrical will be further above it. So it will be, in order for it to flood, it would have to flood several feet over the top of the road.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure that you just represent the city as it relates to the structure and things like that, but
Yes, sir.
you may know, I'm sure they have dedicated revenue streams and special revenue accounts. Could the revenue that's generated want to be new revenue? Could it not be dedicated to addressing some of the questions that's been asked the streets. It could be dedicated to odor control if there is an odor that starts or something like that. Is that something you might could address with the city council, that they designate a special revenue account and this money goes in there to take care of problems?
Certainly. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, I don't have any control over that because I'm completely independent, but, I mean, certainly, and I would suspect that depending on what happens here, everyone that's sitting in the audience and commenting will also be at the council meeting on the 17th, and that those things will be able to be heard by the council. And I would say, just for the record, that a representative of the city would have been here tonight. However, they have a council meeting tonight as well, so that was tough for any of them to break away, so.
I think in this particular instance, your issue is, does it meet the planning objectives? And these operational issues are for the city of Vernon to address.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments? Seeing none. Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion is made and second. Any further discussion? Jacob?
Yes. Oh,
Further discussion?
no success. No.
Ms. Cook?
No.
Mr. Cundy? Mr. Wood? Roll call, please.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
Now, yes. Yes.
District 2, Richard Cundy. District 3, Michelle Cook.
Yes.
District 4, Carl Owens.
Yes.
District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom excused. Member at Large Chairman John Gay.
Yes. All right, moving on to item B, small scale future land use amendment, Harris, 3644 Douglas Ferry Road.
Okay, the Harrises have asked for a change in land use at their property on Douglas Ferry Road. The property size is approximately 10 acres, and their request is to change the future land use map category from agriculture, silviculture to residential low to allow a second dwelling unit. So we've seen a few of these in the past few years. And here is the future land use map. And it looks like the parcel is agriculture, silviculture, and conservation towards that rear of the property. We met our public noticing requirements and held a neighborhood information meeting. And 4 neighbors attended, but they were not opposed. They just wanted to know more about what the request was for. And once they found out that it was for a family member, an additional, because agriculture, silviculture only allows 1 dwelling unit per 10 acres. And so if the immediate family exception doesn't always work for our customers. And so this was another option to change the land use. So I'll be glad to answer any questions. I'm recommending approval. And tonight you'd be making a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. And the commissioners would hear this item on November 13th.
Mr. Owens?
No, sir.
Mr. Cundy?
No, sir.
Ms. Cook?
No.
Anyone from the audience wish to address the commission? All right. Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion based on staff recommendations.
Second.
Motion is made and second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I'm sorry, who made the second? Thank you. District 1, Roger Hagan.
Yes.
District 2, Richard Cundy.
Yes.
District 3, Michelle Cook.
Yes.
District 4, Carl Owens.
Yes.
District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom excused. Member at Large Chairman John Gay.
Yes. Our next case is small scale future land use amendment, New Hope Dunes.
Okay, this is our last case for this evening. This is another future land use map amendment, a small scale. And a land use change is requested by the applicant to allow for a planned unit development or a master planned community. And so you're going to see a lot of maps here in a minute. And so this is the property. This is the New Hope Dunes golf course development that was approved last year by the board. And so the parcel, I think the project is approximately 1,400 acres, and golf course with amenities and accessory structures. And so this planned unit development amendment would be within that golf course community. And it's approximately 99 acres in size. And so to be able to build and to construct as they need to create the master plan community and not request variances, to have variances for parking or to have a pedestrian way or to have a mixed-use development, because we don't have a mixed-use category, this is another option for our applicants. And so the request is to change the 99 acres from agriculture, silviculture to planned unit development. And here is a general map, and you can see in the pink is the proposed planned unit development area. And as you can see, the golf course would be situated around this village. And this is a map from the development order that you all recommended approval on last year. Just to give you an idea of the geographic location. And this is the future land use map. As you can see, the project is in agriculture, silviculture, but that's allowable because you can have parks and recreational areas within the ag silviculture land use category. So ag to plan unit development. And as part of the plan unit development, the applicant provides a concept plan to show us where proposals for open space are and housing and commercial. And so this is the overall master plan map. Now, this won't be exact. The applicants will be submitting applications for development review once for the detail for the specific areas. But this just gives you an idea of where those areas or where those applications would be submitted. And we met our public noticing requirements for neighborhood advertising, for newspaper advertising, and we held a neighborhood information meeting, and attendees were in support of the amendment. County staff recommends approval. And tonight you'd be making a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners, and they'll be making a decision on the 13th. If you have any questions, but the applicant is here and has a presentation for you that is attached to this. If you'd like to.
Mr. Pine, do you have any questions for Planner? Ms. Hagan?
I'd like to hear the other.
Ms. Cook?
Not this time.
All right. Who is going to represent Mr. Reese?
Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
We're obviously very excited to be here and to talk about the next steps for the project.
Let me stop you just a minute, just for the record, state your name so it's on the,
My name is Blake Reese.
I know who you are, but for the record.
My technical title would be Director of Development and Foundership. So, and it's
Thank you.
been a little more than a year now since we stood before you last. So if I could just take a moment, introduce some of our team members. We have Ms. Ellen Avery Smith here, who with Rogers Tower is our land use attorney. Our engineer, Mr. Jim Martelli, is with Interlight Engineering. And then somewhere we had a special guest appearance by Mr. Tom Farrell, who's our VP of Media and Communications, who happened to be in town. So combined, I think we'll all be available to the extent we can and hopefully answer any questions that come up. So with that, could you go to the next slide, please? Oh, I have a clicker? Nice. Perfect. Thank you. So the purpose of this application and really our goal with what we're now calling Old Shores Village is to create a thoughtfully planned community that's invested ultimately in the land that surrounds it. And so an approval of this application to us means we can pursue a village that by nature conserves more land and that has a smaller overall footprint. We're also embracing the spirit behind the county's comprehensive plan in this application. This effort will enhance public enjoyment of the land through the creation of multiple amenity types and an abundance of open spaces that can be enjoyed not just by our guests, but Washington County residents alike. Ms. McDonald covered this, but just quickly, this is sort of the third of a series of approvals we've received that all make up the same project. So about this time last year, we had the approval of the golf course, as was covered. More recently, last month, we had 21 estate lots that existed outside of this PUD boundary, but are connected and related to the project as well. And so today, you saw this map. It's very small, but you can see this is how all the pieces sort of fit together. You've got our 4,400 acre boundary that we own. You've got the golf course, and then on the very northwest and northeast corners of that pink PUD boundary is where you'll see the 21 estate lots. So all of that in context sort of works together, but for the purpose of tonight's discussion, we're focused on this 99-ish acres of the PUD boundary. And then with that said, I'd like to have Ms. Ellen Avery Smith come and share the next few slides.
Good evening. My name is Ellen Avery Smith. I'm a land use attorney with Rogers Towers Law Firm, and the address is in St. Augustine. So it's nice to be over in another area of Florida tonight. Just by way of not legalese this thing to death, we are here for two different reasons tonight. One is for a map change, meaning changing the land use category of this property from agricultural silviculture and what are called comprehensive plan site-specific text policies. So you'll probably see in your agenda package a 22-page document. We're not going to bore you with those details. I just wanted to make you realize that this project will not comply with every letter of the comprehensive plan or land development regulations. All the details are in this document, but I'm just going to walk you through the overview, if you will. So as Blake said, the request is to change the future land use designation from agriculture, silviculture to planned unit development. So that's just the map color change. And this is the PUD plan that is included with the 99 acres that looks like Italy. And so you can see areas that will remain open space recreation in the lighter tan, and then the orange color can be anywhere that could be residential, commercial, open space area. And I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. But you see how that orients around the golf course, Long Lake, and all of that. It is tucked within the 4,400 acres that is owned by a related entity. So not touching land owned by anyone not related to the project. And then, again, not to bore you, this is in your application package, but these are the goals and policies in your comprehensive plan. And this is an illustration of how this project meets them with things like compact development, so you're preserving natural environment, encouraging innovative development techniques, broadening the economic base and tax base of Washington County, that kind of thing. And so that's just showing you compatibility and consistency with the comprehensive plan. And then going to the text amendments, again, not boring you with the details, but this is an overview just of the residential density can be a maximum of 5 units per acre. The commercial is a minimum of 2% of the total land area, and then the recreation open space is a minimum of 20% of the total land area within the PUD. And then to give you an example of the kind of text policies, these are permitted uses, meaning resort-related, residential units for ownership and rental, employee housing, golf-related amenities, lodging, restaurants, those kinds of things are planned within the PUD itself. And you can see an illustration of the graphics, how the compact development works together and preserves the natural environment around it on the left side. And so again, going into more specifics about the text amendments, on-site roads and utilities will be private. So privately owned, maintained, funded, meaning there are different development standards in the text amendments for buildings, things like setbacks, all of that, landscape, hardscape, materials, all of that that's covered in your land development regulations are supplemented in the text policies. So that's the intent of them. And so I'll turn it back over to Blake to finish the show. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I think it's appropriate and fair to share a little bit of a peek behind the curtain into what our vision for this place is. And so again, and I've said this a couple times, but one key aim of this project truly is to minimize the overall footprint and then maximize the amount of natural and open space that we get to keep. So we're the stewards of a large piece of property, and we take that seriously. But not only does it make our project unique and interesting, we think, but we also believe that it's just simply in the best interest of the land to do so. And so ultimately, you know, being the golf people we are, we draw our inspiration from the game's Scottish roots and its ability to really create that connection between land and community. The vision is to create a timeless village that's walkable, it's charming, it's full of life and character. And so we aim to do that while surrounding it with all of that open space and, of course, some of the best golf in the world, which is ultimately why we're here and why we're going to be able to attract people, we think, to this place we're calling Old Shores. So here's a map of our conceptual master plan. So you saw sort of the bubble plan that was in the submission. This would be a little bit more of a rendering on how we believe that might be structured, not necessarily that it will be, but you know, a lot of thought and time has been put together to how do we make this fit on this small piece of land that we have. And in many ways, you know, it's reminiscent of places like St. Andrews or North Berwick in Scotland, where you sort of start in town and then you venture off on this adventure and you finish in town. So it's got this central hub of activity, if you will. And then, so Kersey Branch, if you see, travels along the western portion of this peninsula, wraps around the southern point of the village, and then opens up into Long Lake. And so those combined water features really provide a nice natural buffer or separation for us. So it keeps the village, and it keeps the golf. And, you know, we've said for a while now, we've never really envisioned a golf course lined with homes on every fairway like you see in most developments, especially in America, that we believe really ruins the experience. So again, that's what we think makes this unique, and it's why the land seems to fit it perfectly. So this would be an overhead view of potential village look and feel. So you can kind of get a layout of the scale and the size. You know, this peninsula that it sits on really is up on a high ridge. It has wonderful views of the lake and golf and nature all beyond it. And so if you see that road sort of closest to the bottom of your screen, if we were to zoom into that, so you got all the space around it in mind, if you were to zoom in, you know, you'll see we want to contrast that openness the best we can with a more urban look inside certain parts of this village. And so this is outlined in the text amendments, and Ms. Avery Smith touched on it, but we're trying to promote walkability as much as possible, very pedestrian friendly. You know, hopefully you park your car, you don't have to use it if you don't want to, you can get everywhere you need to go. And in a case like this, your view from the front door and the back door could be dramatically different and unique. And so here would just be a brief look at some of the architectural style and quality and feel that we hope to capture. The home on the left really would be more of like an estate home, sort of on the outskirts of the village, a little bit more space, a little bit more size. But we'll have a large variety of unit types that we're trying to cover, everything from, you know, 1-bedroom cottage to 6-8-bedroom home sort of thing, and possibly a variety of different unit types as well. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions. Thankful for the opportunity to be here, and looking forward to what the possibilities might be.
Thank you, sir. Hang on just a minute. Mr. Paget?
Not right now.
Mr. Hagan?
Did you find the article I was talking about? Is that made in the application?
And so Mr. Higgins' question was regarding access and public access to lakes. And that is not required in a PUD, but if there are subdivisions submitted that meet the requirements in the future, that's something that we would have to look at. And it would be subdivisions of 20 or more units.
Okay. And what's the difference between a subdivision and a planned unit?
The plan unit development is the master plan. That's the overall plan. And so there'll be submittals for development review at the staff level and subdivision reviews, which are now at the staff level.
And those subdivisions, they are 20 units cumulative.
Or more.
Yeah.
It would be more than 20.
The only thing I would say is, I noticed in here you addressed Long Lake, and I don't know if that's the name that the company decided, but there's already a Long Lake Ridge subdivision in Washington County. You may want to think about the name, but I know it's not Little Blue. I don't recognize what that, because it's been private so long, I don't know what that lake's name
The
might
lake
be.
is named Long Lake, which
Is it-
oddly enough,
Is it locally?
there's
named?
another Long Lake closer to 79. So we're not named
77.
79. If you come out Holmes Valley Road and go south, several miles, there's a Long Lake
Yeah.
road if you look on the map. So
Long Lake
there's-
Ridge subdivision, there's a subdivision there.
So we're
named-
not naming it that, yeah. So New Hope Dunes has sort of been the moniker we've used, but we've since selected the name Old Shores for the
That-
project.
And
as
that was
a whole.
just an aside. I knew that
Sure.
there was a Long Lake, and I didn't know if that was something, it's been private for so long, I don't know. I know Big Blue, and I would recognize it on the map, I think, but I didn't recognize that one.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gundy.
No, sir.
Mr. Owens.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the audience who would like to address the board? Yes, sir.
My name is Stephen Storley. I'm the owner of Chipley Station in downtown Chipley, and I appreciate the opportunity to have a forum to state my opinion, and I appreciate y'all's time. Carl, it's good to see you. Carl grew up playing basketball against my father-in-law, who's Dr. William Cox and Mildred Cox. Probably took a few of his elbows, and he asked me some tough questions before I came to this meeting tonight. He said, "What's this going to do to Bonifay, Chipley, Washington County, the whole area?" And I said, "It's having a big impact." Hey, and I said, "Let's start." And he said, "Well, I don't want 1 million people running over my property as a longtime resident, because I want peace and quiet." So I ran some numbers for him. I just thought you should be aware of these. Please understand, as a business owner, the lifeblood for our place downtown Chipley is tourism. The impact, having been to Bandon Dunes 8 times, being from a homesteader sheep farm in the Oregon area that's very, very close. I've been spoiled enough to frequent their property many times, and it's world class, as they called it. It generally is world class. But I want to come back to Dr. Cox. 1999 Bandon, the population, I'm going to quote my numbers here, was 2215. 25 years forward, the population's 3305. That's 1,090 people in 25 years. That's 43 and a half people over at that time frame. So this, I just said, Doc, this is not going to be population overrun. All right, and I can give you these stats if you'd like them. Most of the people, when you go to Bandon Dunes, it's a destination. You're excited as a golfer. It's not a good walk spoiled. It's a wonderful experience. So you're there, you're with friends, family, and you go out and you spend time there, and you just turn off your cell phones, and you just you be quiet and you go out and play golf, because you're not supposed to carry your cell phone on the golf course. Most of the people who are coming in are paying serious revenues. So I would advise you, hopefully it brings in tourism coffers to help offset some of these things like water, sewer, and all the infrastructure challenges you're going to have as controlled growth happens. And I again, would be the recipient of that. Lastly, I think that really, when you go visit it, and it's a long ways away in a little sleepy fishing village, the integrity of that little town is still there. The people that are there is happy to live there. The difference is there's jobs. I would say that this is going to have a major impact economically on tradesmen. I know my 1.5
You have less than 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. $1.5 million project. We employed a lot of people in this area, and all the way through. And Carl can attest to that. And I really believe that the economic impact this is going to have is going to be life-changing for a lot of people in a small town. So with that in mind, I just strongly endorse this. If you'd like to answer any other questions, I'm happy to take them, because I genuinely think it's going to be a real positive long-term. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. What's
Yeah,
those population figures for Washington County?
This was the population for the city of Bandon in Oregon, but it's very similar as far as size and scale. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
In '80, it was 11,800.
All right. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Move that we approve staff recommendation.
Second?
Second?
Motion is made and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
District 1, Roger Hagan.
Yes.
District 2, Richard Cundy.
Yes.
District 3, Michelle Cook.
Yes.
District 4, Carl Owens.
Yes.
District 5, Jarrett Pygott.
Yes.
School Board Representative Kyle Newsom excused. Member at Large Chairman John Gay.
Yes. Moving to item 9, any public comments from anyone in the audience? Commissioners have any comments? Staff comments? No, sir. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned.